Should I tell you who else going mad?
Word.
Chelsea giving Liam Rosenior a 6-year deal.
Can't bring myself to talk about it.
6
I don't want to talk
years.
about it. I know it's going to kind of ruin a podcast where we have to talk about it. I'm so depressed. I'm so
6
upset.
years.
I just don't understand how this has happened.
Can I caveat any discussion we have about him by saying that he's a very promising young
Oh,
coach?
here we
No, but
go.
you can't
Caveat it with that. You can't caveat
I think we have to just, on some level, say he's a promising young coach that deserves a great opportunity at some point in his life. He does.
The other day, I was saying
No, but I'm not
how
saying
well
it's
he
the right
did at
appointment.
Derby and all stuff like this, and you were like, nah, this is a
No,
mental
I'm
appointment.
saying he's a bright coach. Is all I'm saying.
If
It's a
Chelsea,
caveat.
if Chelsea appointed Frank Lampard, you wouldn't be
No,
paying him
I'm-
this
I'm-
courtesy.
it's not. No, but I'm saying it because Liam Rosenior is going to get a lot of stick. I think he's had some very unfair criticism with fans on Twitter, sort of bringing up some of his changing room kind of highlights and stuff like that. Frank Lampard wouldn't be the right appointment. Neither is Liam Rosenior. All I'm saying is Liam Rosenior, he is a promising young coach. I don't like some of the dialogue around him on Twitter. That's just my
Okay,
caveat.
I haven't seen too much of that, but I must say that this is the most uninspiring, unambitious appointment that Chelsea have ever made.
Who would you have liked to have seen him gone for?
What I would like. Okay, let's do it. What
That
I
isn't
would,
me
what I
defending
would
the
like
appointment,
isn't
by
gonna.
the way.
What I would like isn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think that Chelsea should be appointing the very best in the way that we did for 30 years. Go and get the very best that we can get. So at one point in our life, that was Glenn Hoddle when he was Swindon manager.
Yeah.
We went and got the very best that we could get.
Who would that be
At
now?
another point, it was Carlo Ancelotti or Jose Mourinho or Antonio Conte. So what we should be doing now is looking at the top tier, which would be from a board's perspective, not a club's perspective. I'm biased, but the club don't need to be biased. They need to be business-like. They should be looking at Jurgen Klopp. I don't want Klopp, but they should be looking at Jurgen Klopp. They should be looking at Zinedine Zidane. They should be looking at
Xavi.
Diego Simeone, Xavi. They should be looking at that top tier. If we can't get that top tier, and we're not that anymore, maybe we have to accept that we're not. We need to be looking at the rung below that,
Glasner,
which is
Silva,
Glasner,
Iriola.
Iriola. Yeah, Unai Emery, Silva.
Ange Postecoglou.
Not that, right? But what's happened is, what we have now had to understand is that Chelsea have absolutely no ambition to ever win any silverware ever again. That's what this appointment is. This appointment is an admission. It's not an appointment. It is a statement. And the statement is Chelsea do not want to compete for major silverware
I'm really
ever again.
surprised by. I initially thought it was just going to be till this summer.
Mm.
So when I seen that 6-year,
6 years.
I was like, huh? I thought it was just a temporary appointment till the summer because he worked at.
But that's not going to
Blue
interest him, is
Company
he?
already.
He's got tenure at Strasbourg. Whatever
Yeah, but
you
he
say
could
about
just
that.
go back there. Like they own both clubs. Do you know what I mean? Like I genuinely thought
6
it
is
was
a
just.
crazy amount of time. But my only thing, to be devil's advocate, just for exploiting the conversation,
You
if-
like him, don't you, Liam?
I don't dislike him. I don't think he's good enough to be Chelsea manager right now. Maybe in the future.
I
But
don't dislike him either,
No, of
by the
course
way.
you don't.
I just don't
It's
like him as Chelsea
expectation.
manager. I don't dislike him as a man. I don't know him as a man. I don't like
if
him
the
as
Chelsea model
manager.
is fixed, the Chelsea model, the business model, we can debate if it's right or wrong. Obviously, at the moment, it's wrong. It's fixed. Young players, academy players, whatever. Is he the right manager in that regard?
No.
Because it's a fixed
No, no.
system. You're not going out, you're not signing Michael Ballack in his prime
No.
anymore. You're not doing
But it's
that.
not that. The reason why it isn't that.
He's a good coach with
is
young kids.
No manager worth his salt. That's right. So I'm not talking top tier. I'm not talking Guardiola. Guardiola would obviously not work in the parameters that are set by Blueco. He wouldn't have people like Stuart and Win Stanley dictating rotation policy.
Would
to a man.
Iriola is my point, though.
No, Iriola wouldn't either.
Exactly,
No,
so-
Gary O'Neill wouldn't. Right. So the reason that Rosenior has got the job is
Yeah.
because he is at the very genesis of his career, and he is grateful to get the Chelsea job. He's effectively a company man. He's already in the company. So he will just toe the party line. He's very lucky to have the job. He knows that. He's earning more money now than he could have ever dreamed as a manager at this point in his career.
And he's hungry for the role. He's not going to leave. And that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. Is it a good appointment in the parameters of where Chelsea are as a football club?
No.
These are just the realities of where you are as a football club.
But I won't accept these. No,
I'm not saying, of course,
I
you
don't
have to
accept
it.
I don't accept this redefinition
right.
of Chelsea Football Club.
No,
Like,
of course.
What I think you two have to do is redefine who Chelsea are. I mean, the way that I think you two would look at Chelsea, if I'm wrong, tell me, would be that we are always capable of an upset, always capable of winning silverware, never a surprise to see us win trophies, and capable of beating either of you at any point in any competition. That's the way that it's been for Chelsea for the past 30 years. So unless you are 45, you don't really know Chelsea as anything other than like a winning machine. Today, we redefine the club. The OED definition of what Chelsea is and whatever you believe it to be, your way that you visualize Chelsea, it isn't that anymore. We are now a mediocre club. We are normalising mediocrity with this appointment. we are not trying to win major silverware. And that sounds almost like hyperbolic. But remember, we've discussed this before. Jose Feliciano, who is a co-owner of Chelsea, a co-owner of Blueco, said exactly that. He said, we are trying to build a business, and you build that business irrespective of success on the pitch.
Disappointment of Liam Rosenior, right? I imagine it's taken a lot of people by surprise, none more so than the dressing room. A lot of talk after Maresca left was that the dressing room were gutted because they really liked Maresca and what he was doing, and he was kind of building something there. They felt like. Do you think there'll be a reaction to Rosenior coming in? Because we're kind of assuming these things, right? There's not enough evidence of what he's done already, but you kind of feel like he was going to be out of his depth a little bit.
I feel like the players. I think the players who should be winning silver. There are a lot of players at the club, loads of players at the club. But you know the players that you know, I don't even need to say the names, but you know should be winning major silverware, capable of winning titles. They will be looking at this appointment and going, what? What are you on about?
Is there anyone going with him?
A lot of them would have signed for Pochettino, like the best players. Pochettino, I didn't want Pochettino at the club, but you can rationalise the appointment. This isn't that. Like, you know, if you're Cole Palmer, who should be winning league titles, or at the very least competing for them.
Or in the Champions League, consistently, guaranteed.
He's undoubtedly a Champions League footballer. He's probably a title-winning player, and he's probably a Champions League winning player. He's got to be looking at it. And you would extend this to Caicedo, by the way. Reece James is slightly different because of his understanding of the club, but Reece James as well. They must be looking at this going, what?
But is there a positive that we're not looking at? You've just drawn with Manchester City. We've described it as bottling from the Manchester City point of view, but you've just drawn with Manchester City. You're only a few points out of the Champions League places. You've got a big game against Arsenal. You're still in the League Cup, still in the FA Cup.
Yeah, but is it not
still in the Champions League?
You'd argue.
What if he gets it right? What I'm saying is, what if Rosenior this season, for the very minimum, just gets it right?
But if they kept Maresca right,
what if he wins the cup?
If they kept Maresca right, I think Chelsea would tap him for Champions League football. Yeah. We all agree.
They're
going to get Champions League football.
Yeah,
I'd rather keep Maresca
all of a
hire
sudden, in a season
Rosenior.
where Champions League football should be the most attainable thing possible for clubs the size of Chelsea, they've put it at risk now.
Yeah, they shouldn't have got rid of him. I'm not saying that, but
I know he's
right
gone
now
now,
he's at the
but
club.
like-
What if it goes right?
No, but the thing is unlikely. What if it goes right? What if he happens to be the next?
Yeah, that's like saying, what if Darren Fletcher's the next? He's like,
what if he's right? Okay, fine. But what we have to look at is that's a crazily optimistic outlook. Let's look more factually. You've got Enzo Maresca, who kind of came into Chelsea as a yes man. He has looked at this infrastructure and gone, I can't work here. Far better managers than Liam Rosenior. And Graham Potter is obviously a better manager than Liam Rosenior. Yep. So many managers have said, I can't work in these conditions. So they have had to employ a manager that simply will work in these conditions. Like, you know, if they offered me the job, I'm so inept at being a football manager, I obviously couldn't do it. But you know, if they offered me the job,
you would take it.
Yeah, and then you deal with it, their nonsense, don't you? You deal with their nonsense. They go, I think you should play Tosin Adarabioyo away at Man City. You go, yeah, all right. All right. Why not? Yeah.
It was a bit concerning.
You pay me though at the end of the week. Yeah. Okay, sweet, no drama.
Wasn't it a bit concerning how he accepted the job before he signed anything? He sort of came out and said, I'm taking the job. That was a bit.
I'm going home to my kids.
Eager beaver, wasn't he?
Yeah, but do you know what as well? I think we should discuss this, even just acknowledge it. I don't have a major understanding of French football at all. Strasbourg spent more money than anyone else last summer. I don't know anything about Lens. I've been there for an England game, but that's all I know about them. They spent a fraction of Strasbourg, and they're top of the league. And Strasbourg's seventh.
Yeah.
So this is what they're doing under the manager that is Liam Rosenior. They're seventh in the league. They spent more money than anyone else in that league.
Haven't won a game in 5, Royce.
Haven't won a game in 5. This is what I mean.
I'm seeing it now. 3 losses in a row and 2 draws.
He's got the job at Chelsea.
Got the job at Chelsea. There's no other manager.
But he's top of the Conference League.
There's no other club.
Oh, that's all right.
He is.
There's no other club in the Premier League that would appoint Liam Rosenior. Literally no other club. I'm being really serious.
Burnley?
If Burnley sack Scott Parker, they're not looking at...
And they've got the second top goal scorer in the league, so he's probably doing a lot of heavy lifting.
And also, by the way, I don't know anything about Strasbourg, but I have a respect for them as a club. This multi-club thing, you have destroyed that club's ambition. Like, you've just taken...
Their fans hate it.
You're not allowed to do that.
Their fans hate it.
Like, imagine if Chelsea can just raid that club whenever we want. So aren't Strasbourg
Well, that's
meant
what
to
it's
be?
there for. It should
But
feed
they're
a
meant
club.
to be a proper club. They're meant to be an independent club. They're meant to have their own aspirations.
Yeah, they've got their own
They've
fans.
got their own
and
fans.
dreams and all.
Their own fans. Like, pretend they were top of the league and it was going really well for Rosenior. What happens? Or you say they got the top goal scorer in the league. Okay, fine. Chelsea just nick him.
Yeah.
And they don't win the league
Well,
anymore.
that's the plan, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so out of order on them.
It's crazy.
His style of football might
Oh,
suit
what
the
style
Premier
of
League.
football? We've got style of football, and I'm so bored of styles of football. Winning is our style of football. That's our style of football. You know, we're not Tottenham. We don't talk about the game being played in a particular way and certain traditions. West Ham United, the West Ham way. We're a winning machine. And Liam Rosenior, up until this point, he's not even a loser because he has no track record. He's just a guy.
He got sacked at Hull City.
He's a loser then. He's just a guy, isn't he?
Derby wanted to keep him, to be fair.
Oh, really? Whoa. Good
Derby
appointment then. Wait, really? Derby County wanted
Derby
wanted it. So you know when I said, well, Burnley wouldn't have it? That's a bad news. The good news is Derby wanted him.
This was Derby who went into League One and then went, we do want to keep you, but we think we need someone that's more suited
Also, that
to League
sounds
One.
just polite. Sounds polite. You know, like, it sounds like we kind of don't want to keep you, but you're quite a nice guy.
Very strange appointment, isn't it? It is strange.
You were just defending it.
No, for the sake of the conversation, I'm like,
And
could
then
it
you
go
saw their
right?
win rate.
He's working with young players. You know, he's a young, optimistic coach. Could it go right? It went right for McFarlane. He's a PE teacher for Croydon. Respectfully, he got a 1-0 draw against Guardiola with 1,000 games under his belt.
Yeah. Mate, it's honestly a mess.
Just to conclude it, Chelsea somehow fall upwards every season. They're in the Champions League. They're in the League Cup semi-final. They're still in the FA Cup. I'm not saying they're great to win the Champions League this season, but they beat Barcelona a few weeks ago.
do you know
But it
what?
does feel like a season where they were in line to win a trophy.
They'll
or
win
two.
the FA Cup this season, mark my words.
And they had top four within grasp. They've just kind of put it all at risk.
They'll finish above you, though.
But do you know what,
might
Buvey?
be.
Let's just
They might not, though, now.
Buvey, do you know what? Let's just.
They were definitely going to
They'll win the
above
FA
us.
Cup,
Do
mark
you know
my
what?
words.
Let's just say that we do. Let's just say that we end up beating Arsenal home and away and beat
They
Man
don't
City
win the
in
FA
final
Cup
league.
with Rosenior in charge.
Let's just pretend that we do, though. Let's pretend. More likely,
I think they will. They'll win something crazy.
we're in the semi-final League Cup. Let's just say that Liam Rosenior gets us over the line in the way that Vialli took over from Hullet, and Vialli's first game was playing Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final, and we battered them 3-1 at home. Di Matteo scored an unreal goal. Say we do it again. Say we beat Arsenal, and then somehow you don't make the final. We win it. It's still not a good appointment. It doesn't that's a lucky. You fluked out, man. You lucked out. It just happened to go your way. Like, the strategy is wrong. So even if you end up with a good result, it's like hitting a one-outer on the river when you shouldn't have called an all-in. It's not good poker play. It's terrible poker play, but you fluked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a disastrous day for Chelsea Football Club. It's a day, though. It's an announcement. Chelsea do not want to win major silverware again. That's what this appointment is.